Okay, so now let's talk about that second matchup. That second game I think is going to be played on Sunday this weekend. We have the number 2 seed Wasa Royals playing the number 3 seed Helsinki Wolverines. Previously, the Wasa Royals beat the Wolverines in a comeback fashion where the Wolverines quarterback was injured. So, kind of iffy win, if you want to say that. But let's talk about some of the key players, and we'll talk Wasa Royals' key players. You got quarterback Brandon Gwinner, depending on his injury situation. He could or could not be playing this game. We don't even know yet at this time when we're doing this recording because it's Sunday. Wide receiver Alpha Jallo, the other wide receiver Nico Peterson, defensive lineman Carlos Carrasco, linebacker Lamin Latica, defensive back Victor Manti, defensive back Peter Lundstrom. A lot of, I think their defensive players are the guys that have been standing out for them outside of, Alpha, obviously. But I think in this game, these guys are also going to have to stand out even more against the Wolverines team. But who are some of the key guys you got for the Wolverines?
The Wolverines, another team with a nice little star-studded roster. Starting off with the quarterback, Chris Forcier. They got Mickey. They got Cedric Johnson, who's been around for a while, but still the man. They got Sebastian Sane, the speedster receiver. You got Vile Velocity, which has been balling also. William James, who's been playing linebacker this last week. R2 Kettinen, who's leading the league right now in interceptions. So the Wolverines have a few guys that can make some plays at any given time too.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch the Wolverines, guys. Let's talk about the matchups in this game. And the first matchup, and probably the biggest matchup that comes to mind is, how do you stop Alpha Jallo? So you got Alpha versus the Wolverines defense, as well as the Wolverines special teams, because you kick the ball to him, he's going to score. So in this matchup, how do you think the Wolverines can, effectively, I say slow down. I don't think you can stop Alpha Jallo. I don't think that's possible. Even in the huge loss against the Steelers, you saw you can't really stop this guy. You can slow him down, but you want to limit him so that he can't win the game for the Royals. How do you think the Wolverines are going to be able to do that?
Well, if I was the Wolverines DC, one thing I believe in is pressure. Pressure bust pipes. I'm not giving Brandon Gwinner time to sit back and let Alpha get open. That's just I would just sell out on the blitz. Honestly, I'm gonna just be honest. I sell out on the blitz. He is their main target on offense. So I'm not gonna give them time for him to run routes. I'm not gonna give him time to run posts, run fades. If it's not a one-step throw, then it's not going to be an easy throw. The rest of the throws are not going to be easy. I'm going to sell out. I'm going to send a lot of pressure, a lot of blitzing. I think that's the only way that you kind of handle Alpha because you just limit his opportunities to get the ball. Because if you sit back there in the zone and you give Brandon time to read and Alpha time to get open, like it's going to be hard for them to match up one-on-one or even bracket him because of his speed. Just the simple fact that he knows how to get open. And also, it doesn't really matter if you double team him, he's still a go get the ball. So I just think you just have to, when it comes to Alpha, I think you just have to send a lot of pressure at the quarterback, make Brandon run and make him get rid of the ball fast. But if not, then they're going to have a replay of what happened last time. I mean, it was just a throw and catch type of thing. Once Chris Forcier came out of the game, Brandon Gwinner and Alpha went to work. So I think the Wolverines they're going to have to bracket him as well as send a lot of pressure too.
What else do you think is going to be a key matchup in this one with these two teams besides the Alpha situation?
I think the Royals O-line versus the Wolverine front seven. The Wolverines have made some adjustments the last week where they brought their safeties down as linebackers. And what you get with that is a lot more speed. You get a lot more time for athletes to go run to the ball. The way that the Wolverines defensive line has been playing the last week or so has just been aggressive. They have a sack leader on their team now. Even with Benjamin, he gives pressure. He's active. these guys they're just going hard. I mean, the Wolverines are playing like they want it, and I think the Royals O-line just have to step up and they have to protect Brandon enough for him to have a chance to throw the ball. So I think that matchup alone, can they stop Tom Swosty, your boy? If Tom Swosty, what is he gonna do against that front 72?
Yeah,
is he gonna have a big game or not? I mean,
don't sleep on Tom.
That might be that's probably the biggest, I think, matchup of this game is the Royals O-line against the Wolverines defense front seven, because if Brandon Gwinner isn't getting any time, then it's gonna make it real easy for the Wolverines defense. So that's just one of the things I noticed.
Yeah, that's for sure. You said it perfectly. I think another matchup in this game that I'm seeing that I'm really think is going to kind of separate things is the Royals secondary versus the Wolverines receiving core. And that includes, having Mickey J come from the running back spot sometimes and motion out and be in the receiving game. I honestly, just by looking at it, I don't think the Royals secondary matches up against the Wolverines. And even the last time they played, I don't think they matched up. But what they did, and I kind of expect to see this again, is Alpha was playing defense. Nico Peterson was playing defense. And bringing those two guys over on the defensive side, it improves that secondary and what they can do in the pass game so that they can slow these receivers down. Now, will they do that in this game? I'm not sure. I think we saw in the last game that the Royals played that, Alpha, as unstoppable as he is, he has a limit there. He can get tired. He is human. And I think as this season wears on, like, he's that guy that if it was me, Alpha's not practicing this week. Like, we're not – dude, you stretch, warm up, take care of your body. We don't need you to practice. You can stand around and we just put in like a sub for what you're supposed to do. You do walkthroughs because his body is pretty much their key to winning. So with that, I don't know if I want to use him on defense in this game. But if it comes down to it, they might have to have him and Nico Peterson play the defensive side to stop these Wolverine receivers, because Sebastian gonna get loose. Sid gonna get loose. And matter of fact, they had someone else play receiver. Sebastian Gutierrez, he gonna get loose. He played a little bit of receiver in the last game, and he can do some things with the ball in his hand as well. So I think the Wolverines have a lot of options when it comes to the passing game, and I feel like the Royals secondary is gonna have a lot to handle. But I think if they're properly coached, I think Stacy is the man to get it done. And if he goes with the right game plan, they set it up right, that could be the key difference is stopping the receivers from the Wolverines and being able to focus on Forcier and Mickey J in the running game.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Anything else we think matchup-wise?
Obviously, the Royals defense against Chris Forcier. He's
a man.
At
he's
times,
a man.
Hey, he's a man. Forcier, I do believe this, and I can say this confidently. I think I told you. I said if he didn't get hurt in the last game, I think the Wolverines win that game against the Royals. If he didn't get hurt,
I think so too.
I really feel that way. Him getting hurt took a lot away from their offensive possibilities. Him and Sid have amazing chemistry. It's crazy. I think that'll be a big issue this week. Is the matchup with Sid is going to be the issue. If Sid is in the slot, I believe, and Alpha is not on defense, I feel like that's going to be a problem. Just because of his speed and his quickness. But going back to Forcier, I mean, if you do not be where you're supposed to be, he will make you pay. He can extend plays. I would rather him extend plays and throw the ball, but he extends plays with his feet. And but when he extends plays with his feet, he is a problem. I
I feel
mean,
like,
you can see from this last game they played with the
yeah,
Roosters, he extended a lot of drives just off simply running past the D lineman and then walking off for I don't know how many yards he had, man. I mean, the dude is he can hurt you in any way. I would prefer him to throw the ball to hurt me,
yeah.
but if he runs, if he's getting out of there, you in trouble. And the Royals defense is going to have a lot on their hands.
I feel like just to piggyback on Fortier last thing, I feel like he's probably the most athletic and even I might even say the most talented quarterback in the league. And from that aspect, he was hurt last time these two teams played. I mean, early in the game, he wasn't doing great, but I can really say I don't think they've seen anything like him. You can't really compare his game style to anybody they have. Even their quarterback, Brandon Gwinner, who I think is more of a dual threat quarterback himself and a great runner, but there's a difference to the fluidity of the way that he runs and throws. He can throw on the run, and he can look like he's throwing while he's running. He can look like he's running when he's about to throw. Like, his mechanics are so smooth. Like, most quarterbacks in this league, if they start scrambling, you can tell if they're looking for a receiver or if they're running. You cannot tell if this dude is running or looking for a receiver. Like, he can run with the ball like this and run faster than your entire defense. That is scary. How do you stop that? I think putting a spy on him will be helpful, but I'm not sure if it'll actually work. Because as we said before, they have some pretty good receivers. You're going to have to cover people. How do you cover people and cover this guy who can run right at your linebacker where your linebacker has to decide, do I run here or do I step back and coverage? I step forward, he's going to throw it. I step back, he's going to run, and I can't catch him now because I step back too far. I think it's a tough challenge for the Royals secondary. And if I'm going to call out anybody, I think I'm going to call out Zachary Blair on that. I think that Zachary Blair has come in this year, and we haven't talked about him much. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that their defense plays. I think he's taken on a lot more of the initial blockers, and Lamin Latica is being more of the side-to-side guy. Latica is making a lot of tackles, getting to the ball right before it's getting to the sideline. But up the middle is more of a Zachary Blair taking on a lot of contact. But somebody is going to have to put an eye on Forcier and force him into, making decisions. Make Forcier throw the ball, like you said. Make him not want to run, which means you can't just run at him. You have to sit in front of him and make him think, well, it's not worth it to run. I'm going to throw. I think Zachary Blair is the guy that they're going to have to depend on to do that. I think Latica is good in his role as getting to the ball after the case, but I think Zachary Blair needs to be focused on stopping Chris Forcier and making him a one-dimensional quarterback. Yeah, that's how I'm going to say that.
Gotcha.
What about some questions these two teams got to answer? What do you think about the Royals? Let me do the Royals, actually. Let me do the Royals.
Go ahead.
I want to do the Royals. For the Royals, I think in this game, the way that they ended the season is they kind of limped into the playoffs now. I don't like that feeling. I don't think they like that feeling. It's a bad taste. You started 3-0, and now you're 3-2 going into the playoffs. So for them, it's can they recapture that early season magic where maybe they didn't play great every game, but they made big plays to win those games. Those first 3 weeks, we were saying, like, this team plays better in the second half, but you see the fight in them all game. In the last couple of games, we haven't seen that. We've seen a team that, even the last game, you kind of were scratching your head when you're watching what the offense was doing. But in these last 2 games, the defense has stopped nobody. So then you're like, is this their real defense? Because earlier in the season, their defense has, made big plays as well. So in this game, are we going to see that early season Royals team? Are y'all going to bring back, that it factor? Making turnovers, making scores on big plays. Brandon Gwinner, Alpha Jallo, Nico Peterson, making big plays on the offensive side and then taking the ball away on defense. Somebody stepping up, getting interceptions, forcing fumbles, things like that. Because that's the team that we know and love. You know, that's the team that I chose to make the playoffs. Nobody else picked y'all to make the playoffs. That's the team I chose to make the playoffs. Was a team that was big playability. So the question I need you guys to answer is: can you bring that magic back? Can you bring back that big playability in the game and write your ticket to the Maple Bowl? See you in Lottie, man. That's me for the Royals. What about the Wolverines? What's the question you think they need to answer?
I think the biggest question for the Wolverines is: will they play up to their potential? Will they play up to that roster? Will they play up to, Sebastian, Mickey, Forcier, being who they are, coming out, big plays? Like, are they going to be they've been healthy. I'll give them that. They've been healthy pretty much the full season. Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing when it's coming into the playoffs. They're obviously going to come into this game a healthier team. I can say that they're the most talented team in this game. But are they going to play like it? Or not to go back, but the team that we've seen play against Scorpio, they will never beat this Royal team that they're about to play. So they can't come out as that team for whatever reason that was. They just had a spat game or whatever. But I think Wolverines need to really come out and establish who they're going to be. They have to go to Wasa. That's the other thing. They got to take a long trip. They got to take a long trip to Wasa. Who's all coming? Is everybody rested for this week? Is everybody mentally focused for this week? I think Coach Manley will have them ready. I think he's going to scout well. I think he knows exactly what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and I think he knows how they can possibly win this game. So the Wolverines have to write their own ticket at this point. I think even though Royals are number 2 and the Wolverines are number 3, I still believe the Wolverines think they're better than them. Yeah. I think that so to them, this is it's a must-win game for both teams, but I really feel like the Wolverines feel like we should be second at least, and we have to show it, basically. So now they have to go on the road, and they have to win in Wasa. And Wasa might have a hostile playoff environment. They just might. So we'll see. The Wolverines can they play up to that potential that we know they can play.